flows so that we are reminded of them, and so we warm up, and then we'll go through it as a flow. But right now, let's just stand, turn your toes out. Let's do our regular warm-up, get our legs and hips and shoulders a little bit warmed up before we begin. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend at the knees, bend the hips, and scoop. Inhale up. And exhale down. Again, I have my phone on. If anybody needs to reach me, that's the only way. I cannot hear you if you turn on your sound and speak. I can only see a text message coming through. And yeah, I know it sounds snowy in between when I'm not talking, I believe. Again, that has to do with the sound, which I work on, and I'll have it all ready by Saturday. Next time, exhale into Goddess. Inhale up to Starfish. Exhale, scoop, and keep doing that for a while. Your warm up for the legs. Try to make your knees go out over your feet. Try not to let them tilt inward. Not good for the knees. If you can't do that because your hips may be tight, then just bend them a tiny bit. Oh, I'm getting warm already. Now from Goddess, add in the side stretches. So exhale to Goddess. And inhale right into the side stretch, a version of triangle actually. Exhale to Goddess. Inhale, side stretch, straight legs. Exhale, Goddess. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, scoop. And since I'm closer to the camera, I don't have to talk as loudly for you to be able to hopefully hear me okay. And again, I have the music set nice and low. I'm sure it's just a simple something, not plugged in right or something. One more time through. And arms up. And release. And let's come to the left side of the mat. Your left side, I don't know if this is mirroring me or not. It should be. It may not be. Again, we'll hold every pose for between 20 and 30 seconds as we go through the flow, and then we'll do it as a flow with the breath. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, crescent moon to the right, to the long side of your mat, and hold it. Your hips can shift left, or you can keep them centered right over your feet. Two different styles of yoga. Each one described as doing it one way or the other. So either way works. And let your head rest on your arms. Inhale, back up to straight. And exhale, curve left. I have a cat that wants to get in here. She hears me. I guess she'll get used to it. Now, as you inhale up, step wide, toes turned out. And exhale to Goddess and hold it. So you can shift your weight a little bit back more toward your heels, even in this pose. Try to keep your shoulders over your hips. Inhale, legs straight, arms up. Starfish, right foot out. 90 degrees. Bend your knee, warrior two. Push into the outer edge of the back foot. Try to keep your shoulders over your hips. Don't let your shoulders lift up. Don't let your bent knee tilt inward and don't let it go past your heel. All those things. You know all those things. Inhale, reverse warrior. Actually, he tends to want to tilt in with this. With your next exhale, triangle, shift your hips, tilt your pelvis. Nice straight line. If you're standing in a toaster, one teacher says, you don't want to lean forward or back. And with your next inhale, come down to the lunge. Your fingertips, lift your chest a little bit, flatten the back. Maybe have your hands on a block or two. Evolved side angle, left hand down, right hand up. Still in the lunge, hold it. Remember, don't push back with your arm. Rotate from the hips, from the waist. Lower back down to the lunge. Lower your back heel down. Side angle, left arm up. Now come down, kneeling lunge, arms up. That's an inhale. Then we flow it. Hold it. Exhale, lunge. Lift your back knee back up. Half moon, right hand down, left leg, left arm up. Turn sideways. Stick right one with your hand on the block. Head to knee. Walk your hands back, step your left foot way back here, straighten your right leg out, head to knee. Pyramid style, hands down, raise your leg. Turn center, wide forward bend, stretch down. And you can put your right hand on the block or just on the mat, the left arm up, twist. Forward bend with the twist. Lower down, other side. Lower down. Bring your toes out, reverse swan dog, inhale up. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, starfish. Now we do everything to the left. Word two to the left and hold it. Reverse where? Keep your knee bent. Don't let it go in. Triangle. Tilt your pelvis. Nice straight line sideways. Inhale to the lunge. Hold it. Next exhale, revolve the side angle, left arm up. Go down, side angle, right arm up. Don't push back with your arm. And pull on your shoulder. Rotate the whole torso. Inhale, kneeling lunge, arms up. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, half moon. Now it's from that lunge, after the kneeling lunge, when we go back to the lunge, that we're going to add in the pieces of the sun salutation. We'll go back to three-legged dog. We'll do it as part of the flow. Lower your hands, step your right foot way back there, straighten your left leg out, head to knee, pyramid style, hold it. Turn center, stretch down. We're not going to hold these because we've already done them. Twist, one arm up, on your back, lower that arm. Twist to the other side. This is done with an inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale, lower your arm, turn your toes out, reverse swan dog, inhale, up. Hot. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, feet together to the right. Arms up. Crescent moon to the left. Inhale, back up to straight. Exhale, crescent moon to the right. Inhale, back up to straight. And exhale. Lower your arms. We'll start the flow now. Same movements, moon salutation. We'll start on the right side of the mat where we ended up. Feet a couple inches apart, toes pointing straight ahead. Try to do one movement, one breath. I'll try to make it slow, which may be too slow for your breath. If it is, take a half breath in there somewhere if you need it. Try to stay with our breath and with our movement. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, crescent moon to the left, to the long side of the mat. Finish the exhale and inhale, slowly back up. Finish the inhale, exhale to the right. Inhale, back up and step wide. One inhale, keep inhaling. Toes turned out. Exhale to goddess. Small movement, so the breath is going to take a little bit longer. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, warrior two left. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, triangle. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, revolve. Inhale, back to lunge. Be careful with the arm. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, kneeling lunge, arms up. Exhale, back to the lunge. Now we're going to change it here. Inhale, three-legged dog. Left leg in the air. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, plank. Now from here, you can lower your knees and bend your elbows a little bit, or if you're stronger, you can go almost down to the mat. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, lunge it. Hold up there if you need to. Get that heel under the knee. Inhale, half moon back to the normal moon salutation. Exhale, head to knee. Inhale, turn center. Exhale, slowly stretch down. Keep exhaling until you finish it. Inhale, twist other side. We do both, so it doesn't matter. And push your hand back behind your shoulder. Exhale, lower. Inhale, other arm up. Exhale, lower. Turn your toes out. Reverse swan dive. Inhale, up. Goddess. Starfish. Inhale. Warrior two to the right. Exhale. Reverse. Triangle. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, revolve, side angle. Lunge. Side angle. Left arm up. Inhale, kneeling lunge, arms up. Exhale, lunge. Now we're going to add in that piece of sun salutation, or you can just stay here if that's too much for you today. Inhale, three-legged. Exhale, dog. Inhale, plank, lower your knees if you need to. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. You can keep your knees down. Exhale, back to down dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Now start to lower your knees and step your right foot forward if you need to. Exhale, right foot forward. Inhale, half moon. Head to knee. Centered. Stretch down, exhaling, 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 exhaling. Twist, inhaling as you twist. Exhale. Other side. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale. Turn your toes out. Reverse swan dive. Inhale, up. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, feet together, left. Or a couple inches apart. Exhale, crescent moon right. Inhale, up. Crescent moon left. Inhale, up. Exhale. Namaste. Now, that was only 20 minutes. What are we going to do for the rest of the class? I don't know. Let's come to seated and figure it out. See if I can get this out of the way. Seated, cross-legged, left leg in front. Please be sitting on a blanket or two if you have tight hips, back issues, or knee issues. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, reach forward and down and hold the stretch. If this is hard, compression on your knees, you can try putting a block underneath each knee, sitting cross-legged, or just cross the left leg and stretch the right leg straight forward if the right knee is too compressed, being behind the left leg. Sitting on blankets for sure if you have knee or hip issues, always. And you may always do that, and that's okay. You can still benefit from all the other stretches and everything, whether you're on or off a blanket, but you don't want to be causing your body pain because it just makes things tighten up. So you need to go to where it's challenging, where it's not easy, but no sharp stabbing pains. That's why we have all these props. That's why we know how to use them. That's why I sit on a blanket. If I'm going to be sitting there for a while, I sit on a blanket, always. I take them with me when I go to classes. And blocks. Inhale, slowly back up. Exhale, twist left. Left hand is behind you, right hand just above your left knee. Lengthen your spine up. Look over the back shoulder if it's okay with your neck. If not, look straight ahead. Between your shoulders. Try not to lift the right buttock by arching too much. Try not to lean back or lean sideways. Hold it. Twisting pose is good for the digestive system, cleansing kidneys, liver, spleen. Feel it. Keep your shoulders relaxed and clench your jaw. Your next inhale, inhale your way back to center. Change legs, right leg in front, or right leg cross, left leg forward, or blocks underneath your knees. Lift them up a little bit. Tight hips. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, we should reach forward and down. And stretch and hold the stretch. Excuse me. I don't know if I like the camera being this close. It's far away. It's kind of blurry, which is not a bad thing. Again, I'll have the music figured out by Saturday, and it won't be perfect because it was perfect when I finally figured out how to modify the sound. Inhale your way slowly back up and exhale your way into a twist right. Once you get into position, let your left buttock sink back down. Lift your sternum. Go to the back shoulder if it's okay with your neck. Your shoulders relax. Use your arms to pull yourself into the twist. Hold it. Today in gentle, we're going to do our usual warm-up, which we do on Tuesdays, and then we're going to do the floor hip movements to strengthen and rub muscles and around the hip, increase range of motion in the hip joint as well, doing both. That's in gentle. So if you want to skip core and come back for gentle, that's 30 minutes after this one ends. Gentle starts. Slowly back to center. Sit with your right foot. No, we may have just done that. Sit with your left foot and right foot straight forward. Let's do that. Inhale, lengthen your spine, and exhale, reach forward and down over your right leg. Hold the stretch. Again, too much on the knee. Put a block under the knee. Sometimes the knee pain is the hip issue. Not always, often. Hold the stretch. You can have your right leg, the knee slightly bent. It's better that than having the muscle tight trying to press the knee down. Notice where you feel the stretch. Obviously, it's expected that you feel it in the right leg, the hamstring, maybe the calf a little bit, but you might feel it in the back. If the hamstring's really tight, it's going to pull in the back. causing back pain, back issues. You can also feel it in the left hip since it's bent and the leg is angled out. Notice where you feel the stretch, and at some point it's going to loosen up a little bit. When you feel it become less of a stretch, see if you can go a tiny, tiny, tiny bit further. Making it challenging but no pain. Slowly inhale your way back up. Take your right leg out to the right. Keep your left heel in again. With support if need be. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And exhale, stretch over your left foot. Try to center your chest, your sternum over your left heel. So you don't lean toward the left bent knee. That's the way the body's going to try to do it. Because we're stretching muscles the body doesn't normally stretch. So it tries to make it easier for you. We don't want it easy. We want to hit those muscles that don't get stretched. Hold it. Maximize the stretch. Again, no sharp pains. This is a tough one. When I first started doing this, I barely could bend forward over it. And that was just maybe 6 years ago when I started adding it to this class. But in time, your muscles will loosen up. Feel the stretch. Feel when it gets less dramatic. So you can stretch just a tiny bit more. I think my cat's going to end up opening that door. That should be interesting. Slowly back up. Side stretch to the right. Don't worry about touching your toes. If you reach for your toes, oftentimes your left hand will come in front of your face. You'll rotate your chest a little bit facing your right leg. You want to go straight sideways. You want to feel it in the side of the left hip and the inner thigh of the right leg a little bit. Hold it. You can put your arm underneath your calf with the thumb pointing back. Right arm underneath if you want. If the left arm doesn't like reaching because of the shoulder, you can reach it straight up or wrap it around behind your back. Just let it rest on your side. Try to still lean to the right for the stretch in the waist and the hip. Excuse me. So I hope you're all ready for Thanksgiving and you have all your groceries. And I hope you have a good supply of toilet paper. Oh, geez. Come slowly back up. Keep your left knee bent. Lean over to the left side. And pull your right heel in towards your buttock. Push your right knee away. Up your right leg about parallel to the mat, but not touching the mat. Hold the stretch, stretching the front of the thigh, the quadricep. It's important in the front of the hip flexors. We don't want those tight either. All those things affect the back, our ability to walk. Hold the stretch. Slowly release. Back up. Let's do everything with the other leg. Left leg straight forward. Right knee bent, right foot touching maybe your left inner thigh. Maybe you have a block underneath the right knee. So that you don't have to try to hold it up. Just relax in the stretch. Stretch down over your left leg slowly, wherever it goes. Don't try to force anything. Don't try to look like a picture you may see. Do your kind of stretch. You can hold your left leg with a strap and pull yourself a little bit forward. Feel the stretch. Always go into a stretch slowly so you don't go beyond where the muscle can stretch today. Torn muscles. Sometimes that soreness we feel after things are little tiny muscle tears, which become scar tissue, which makes you less flexible. So pay attention. Move slowly into a stretch. Slowly back up, left leg out to the left, right heel still in. Stretch over your right foot equally forward between your knees. Feel it on the left inner thigh. Right hip perhaps to half part of the back. Try not to go so far forward that your hips, your buttocks lifts off the mat. You can always lean forward on a block. This or a blanket. And you're still sitting on a blanket if need be. I am usually sitting on a blanket now too, but it's up there and I'm too lazy to reach that far. Well, there it is. Yes, I know I'm just in one TV. I don't teach Kundalini anymore. It's not regular classes, and I never get to wear my white, so I thought I'd throw it on today. Scare you all, thinking it might be Kundalini. Inhale up, exhale side stretch. Again, it's not about touching your toes, it's about stretching sideways. Let that top shoulder, that right shoulder come forward, but again, you don't force it back with the arm. Hold the stretch. Slowly come back up, lean over to the right, put your left heel in, put your left knee away so you feel stretching the quadricep and the hip flexors. Don't lift the foot up higher than the buttock. It comes straight back along the back of your thigh, the hamstring. You don't lift it up, twisting it, pull it on the knee. Hold it. The knee does not bend that way. And as you know, if this is too big of a compression on your knee, just don't pull it back as hard. Okay, come slowly back up, sit wide. I am going to sit on the blanket. And forward bend. Seated wide forward bend. We're going to hold this for a little bit longer than the other stretches. As you know, the other ones for 1 minute. Stretches. This one's going to be a little bit longer. let your head rest on a block or on your forearms, so you can put your chin in your hands if you can stretch down that far. This stretch can hurt your back if you have tight hamstrings, so do not do it. There are other ways. Some of the stretches we already did, and in time during those other stretches you'll be able to come to this pose and be able to do it without hurting your back. So just stay up straight. Maybe press your belly forward a little bit rather than folding down. This next stretch is a challenging one. Do the best you can, do as little as needed or as much as you can. Go into it slowly. I use my hands on the inside of my legs to start bending my knees. Keep them wide. And slowly try to bend your knees till at least the sides of your foot touch the mat. And then lean forward. I don't know if this one has a name, but we've been calling it arachne because it kind of looks like one. Hold the stretch. You know what I just realized? We've never done this one in yin. We should. Come slowly back up. Thumbs of your feet together, bound angle, knees apart. And try to force your knees down. And lean forward. And then round down if you want, or you can just lean forward. Support yourself there. Feel the stretch. slowly back up. We have time, so come over onto your back. We're going to save reclined pigeon for after the hip and the gentle class because we'll need it. Although, yeah, we should have. So bring both knees in. Cross the right ankle over the left. Reach your arms around the outside of your legs. Grab your big toes and lift your legs up. And your legs do not have to be straight. Try to straighten them as much as you can to get the most out of the stretch. But if they don't have to be straight, then you can put strap. If you can't reach your toes, put a strap around your feet. Right ankle still crossed over the left, though. That just makes it a little bit stronger stretch, believe it or not. But of course, I've said it, so you always believe everything I say, right? I think they all know me, which is a bad thing. Could be. If you stay for core today, but if not, come back at 11:45 for the gentle class, because it's a good one, good stretch and good hip routine, which we've done before. Okay, bring your knees back down, cross the left ankle on top, grab your big toes if you can, or put your strap around both feet and stretch them straight up. Hold the stretch. Yes, that noise you hear, I can see it's being recorded. Is the cat clawing at the bottom of the door, trying to pull it open. The door's moving a little bit. I'm not sure if it's, well, it would be open by now if it wasn't latched. Okay, lower your legs, hug both knees in, rock a little bit side to side, massage your back. And we have a couple minutes until core starts. Breathe out, cat. I was surprised to see Maureen here today. But I assume that's because the activity center must be closed for the day. For the week, probably. Okay, less than a minute to go. We're going to start standing. Feet are a couple inches apart, toes pointing straight ahead, hands on your shoulders, or you can have them a little bit more depending on how your balance feels. Once you start doing this, bring your left knee to the right elbow and right elbow to knee. And your elbow across the body, knee a little bit across, working the waist muscles, the upper abs, and the lower abs. Keep alternating. Take a moment to pause when you're back up straight, so you do go all the way up to straight in between. If you weren't here for Hatha, I don't have the music. I had it set perfectly, but it isn't working. So I'm going to figure that out again. It was a lot lower, a lot more background than the last time. I finally figured out how to reduce the volume enough. Maybe that's it. No, I turned it up. It wasn't it. I don't know what it is. One more time. Left knee, right knee, and back center. Stand wide, 3.5 to 4 feet apart, or your ankles under your wrists, and your arms are out. Turn your toes out. Reach your right arm toward your left leg. Come all the way back up to straight, and then left to right. Reach only to where you can reach that you don't bend the knee. So it can be just left knee, and then right knee. Or it can be shin, or it can be ankle, or it can be foot, wherever you can reach that you don't bend the knee to get there. Use your abs to lift yourself up. Pull them in, activate them intentionally, otherwise you'll be using your back. And the back's getting strengthened. But learn how to activate your abs and use your abs to give your back a break. Keep changing sides. Yeah, I know I stopped. That's because I'm the boss. I don't have to do it. You guys keep going. Like I made paint left on that door. The rate she's going. Poor cat. Sad. Okay, one last time. Left to right, I believe, is the second side, and come back up to straight. Toes turned out still a little bit, arms out. Now try, when you bend forward, not to lift your arms up toward the ceiling, pulling on your shoulders. Try to keep your arms, let's do it slowly first. Come halfway down. Your back is flat, you're not rounding down. And look at your arms, they should stay parallel to the mat, not lifting up into the air. And then as you drop all the way down into a wide forward bend, let your arms drop, touching the mat or not, but toward the mat. Take your arms out to the side, no higher than parallel, flatten your back, tighten your abs, and come back up, arms overhead. And continue to do that swan dive, arms out to the side, keeping your back flat for as long as you can, then round down, drop your arms, let your head hang. Take your arms out, no higher than parallel to the mat. As you flatten your back and come up. Using abs, pull them in. Yes, this is for the back, but we're also activating our abs intentionally. Julie was telling me that she caught herself doing that, lifting something where she couldn't bend her knees, and she used her abs. And it'll become second nature once you start to intentionally do the exercises using your abs. One more time, swan dive down, reverse swan dive up, and release. I think that's enough standing. Let's come to lying on our backs. Yeah, big sigh. Can you see me? If I can't see the camera yet, you can see me. Fingers behind your head. One of our regular great ones for upper and lower abs and waist. Bring your right knee in towards your chest. Lift your head, keep your head lifted, arms lifted. Left elbow to right knee, left leg out parallel to the mat, change sides. Right leg out, left knee in, right elbow to left knee, alternate. Remember, you're just barely supporting your head, don't pull on your head. Yes, little cat. Elbow. The right knee, right elbow to the left knee, other leg out parallel. If it's hard on the back to take your leg all the way out parallel, then take it up in the air a little bit. Or keep the knee bent a little bit instead of straightening it out all the way. But if you can keep your shoulders lifted, that flattens your back to the mat and will help prevent you from arching up and hurting your back. If you have to do it from going all the way back down, lying your head down on the mat, then you may not want to straighten your leg out all the way. Okay, hug both knees in. Rock a little bit side to side, stretch and massage your back. Knees bent, feet on the mat. 3-part crunches. Make sure your back doesn't arch up, but with your knees bent, feet on the mat, it usually stays down. Fingers behind your head, don't pull on your head. Lift a little bit more. Lift as far as you can without coming to seated, just rounding forward, and then slowly lower your head and shoulders and arms back down. Lift a little bit more. Lift as far as you can. And release slowly back down. Keep your abs tight. Lift. These are upper abs. So pull the abs in right below the ribs, above the navel as much as you can as you do this. Keep them pulled in as you go back down as well. 4, 4, 4. Slowly back down. 5, 5, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, low abs, reverse crunches, sort of. You're going to do first keeping your knees bent. Feet on the mat, fingers behind your head. Now you can keep your head down if you want. If you lift your head and let it rest in your hands and your fingertips, chin tucked, you activate the upper abs as well. But this is primarily for low abs, so if you want to keep your head down, that's okay. It can be hard on the neck. Come up onto the balls of your feet. And do little jumps, bringing your knees in toward your chest without lifting your heels up toward the ceiling. Try to keep your heels tucked down. 3. Try to get your low back off the mat. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and rest. We have 2 more sets of that to do. You now always rest when you need to. And consider it a rest, not a stop. So if you need to rest for in the middle of it, rest for a couple counts, and then try to do 1 more. And then rest and try to do another one. Okay, on the balls of your feet, head lifted or head down, whatever works for you. Knees to chest, little jumps, touch. 2, toes touch. 3, touch. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lower down. If you want, you can hug your knees in and rock a little bit, massage your back. We have 1 more set. So good for us. Just think of that. It's so must be good for us, right? Okay. That's one of these. On the balls of your feet, lift your head or keep it down. Little jumps, keep your heels tucked in. 2, touch, 3, touch, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now hug your knees in and rock a little bit side to side, massage your back. And if you are getting that snowy white noise sound, that's this end. That's not your end. It may not be now, so it'll turn the share computer sound off, but it may still be there. Okay, low abs again, legs up in the air. Knees can be bent if your hamstrings are tight, so try to have your legs up toward the ceiling rather than angled out. That's harder on your back. We'll do things that way, we will in a minute, but this one, legs straight up, keep your head down, arms by your side, lift your feet to the ceiling, low back off the mat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put your hands under your buttocks or blankets. Arms down. Make sure you're not under your low back, your buttocks, your hips. Keep your low back pushed down. Now pay attention. Legs lifted, knees bent if need be to have your legs straight or up more. Straight legs if your hamstrings are okay with that. Lower your legs toward the mat. And pay attention to your back. Push it down. Don't let it arch up. Tighten your low abs. Push that back down. Keep pushing it down. Lift your legs slowly back up. Don't let the low back lose contact with the mat. If it does lose contact, don't go down with your legs as far. Stop as soon as you feel your low back starting to lift. Don't touch the mat. Don't go down that far. Slowly back up. I know you want to lift fast, bring them back up, but do it slowly. Pull your low abs in. Navel. Pull your navel in tightly as you do this. Especially on the lift up, push your back down. Keep going. As your abs get tired, your low back may start to lift. If that's the case, bend your knees a little bit more and don't go down quite as far. Try to keep moving though. Or if you need to, rest for a couple repetitions and then come back and try to do 1 or 2 more. Okay, we're going to change it. Legs up, lower the legs together to wherever your point is and take them wide and bring them back up with big circle, legs together overhead. Lower together, circle them out, wide and up. Lower together, legs apart as you circle them up to the top. And then together overhead, keep going. This is timed. I can find my watch. I mean, I'd love to keep doing it with you, but I have to like set the stopwatch. And I can only do one thing at a time. And this is it. Okay, next time your legs are together overhead, Separate them into a wide circle going down to just above the mat or wherever your bottom point is, and lift straight up together. Circle down, out and down together at the bottom of the circle and lift up. Keep moving. And different things to your abs. Still working the low abs, but kind of getting into different areas of those muscles. Okay, next time your legs are up, bend your knees, hug your knees into your chest, rock a little bit side to side, stretch and massage your back. Okay, come to hands and knees. Please, please fold up your mat. Put extra padding under your knee. You can fold it, just fold over right in the middle of the mat. Put extra padding under your wrist if you need to by folding up the end of the mat. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Do some cat-cow, arching inward and downward. Rounding up like a howling cat. When you round up, tuck your chin. When you arch inward, don't lift your head and look forward. Just look a little bit forward, but don't lift way up with your head. And compress the back of your neck. Go up like a cat. Lift down like a swayback cow. That's the cow part. Come back to a neutral spine. Now you have two ways you can do this. You can do this from downward dog, or you can do it from hands and knees. I'll demonstrate hands and knees first, and then I'll demonstrate downward dog version. And you really need padding under your wrist if you're going to try to do the downward dog version. It does help. But just hands and knees. Bring your right knee over, touch your left arm if you can, and straighten it back just parallel. Don't lift it up into the air. And bring your right leg and slide it along the outside of your right arm. Straighten it back to parallel and lower it down. Side the other knee, left knee across, touch your right arm. Straight behind you, parallel. Slide it forward along the outside of the left arm. Straight back to parallel. And lower down. Now you keep going it that way. You go back to downward dog. Right knee to left. Leg into the air. Slide it along the outside right leg. Back up into the air. Lower down. Left to right. And up. Left to left. And up. And lower down. And keep doing whatever version. You can even just do a few of the downward dog ones and then come back to hands and knees and maybe add a few more in later if you want, or just stay with hands and knees. Both work the abs. To just come for core, the gentle class along with the regular stretching we do on Tuesday is going to have hip, the floor hip things, not the standing hip movements. So you're on your side and strengthening the muscles around the hip joint, increasing range of motion, lubricating the joint, working the tendons and the ligaments. So stay for that if you have time. And it's always good to do after core because it stretches nicely for that class. Okay, from wherever you are, separate your knees, hands and knees, separate your knees, sit back on your heels. Stretch your arms forward or stack your arms, let your forehead rest on your stacked arms. Child's pose, stretch your back. Hold it. Okay, come back up to hands and knees, lower to your forearm. Arms, both of them. Good. Elbows under shoulders, knees under hips. Stretch your right leg straight back. Toes touch. And lift your right leg up. It will come higher than the buttock, but don't tilt over to the side. Keep your legs straight, touch your toes down. 2. Down, working the low back and the glutes. 3. Glutes support the SI joint. 4. 5. 6. Same side. 7. 8. 9. 10. Keep it lifted. Bring the heel to the butt. 1. And straighten it out. Still lifted. 2. And up. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Lower that knee down beside the other knee. Straighten your left leg back. Toes touch the mat. Lift from the hip. 1. Lower. 2. 3. 4. 5. Touch. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Keep it lifted. Bring the heel to the butt. 1. Keep it lifted. Straighten it out. 2. Don't bring the knee down when you bend it. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Lower down. Separate your knees. Walk slowly back to child's pose. Stretch your back. Hold it. And come forward onto your belly. Let's do some real back isolation movements. Stack your hands, elbows bent, forehead on your stacked hands. Lying on your belly, slowly lift your arms, lift your head, keep your head stuck to your hands, and lift nice straight legs and lower back down. Just curve up, please do not lift high. Try to feel it in the whole back. I don't care how strong your back is or how high you can lift. You lift higher, you isolate it all happening in the low back. So keep it lower to work the whole back. Just curve up a little bit. Chest off the mat, arms off the mat, legs off the mat, maybe to above your knees and then back down. Keep your legs straight when you lift, so you're lifting in the back. Lift and lower, just curving up a little bit. Make it slow. I know slow is harder. I've watched some people, they like to lift up real quick, which is really going to hurt their back at some point, but it's not the way to do it. Slowly come back down, turn your head to the side. Excuse me, rest for a moment. Now you can keep doing it that way with your hands stacked at your forehead on your stacked hands, or you can keep adding. We're going to keep making it a little bit more challenging. If you reach a point where it's too challenging, you can go back to whatever we did previously, or you can always come back to your hands stacked or rest back in child's pose. So the next one is arms out, elbows bent, 90 degrees, palms facing the floor. Please don't pull up with your elbows. Lift your chest, lift your legs, and slowly back down. The same movement. Don't lift your head first, pulling yourself up with your neck. Don't lift your elbows way up, pulling yourself up with your arms. Use your back. Pulling yourself up with your elbows can hurt your shoulders. Looking forward and lifting with your head first can hurt the back of your neck. Try it out, cat. I think she's going to end up being outside while I teach. She likes it outside anyway. Next time. Right now she's my music. Okay, lower down, turn your head to the other side, and rest for a moment. Now this one you have to really self-monitor. When I'm there with you, I can see that people go too far in this. So please be aware of what you're doing. Please monitor how you do this. I'm going to start with your hands on your low back and just watch me first. I will do left arm, right leg first so you can see how low you want to keep that right leg. I'm going to do it the wrong way first, and then I'm going to do it the right way. My forehead is down, my arms are on my low back. You'll have room to do this. Swing your left arm out to the side. Take it forward as you lift your right leg. Not way up like this. Keep it low. And I'm not lifting with my neck either. Come back down, turn your head to the other side. Turn your head center as you swing your right arm out, lift your left leg. And come back down, turn your head to the other side. Keep alternating. You take your arm out to the side and forward as you lift your chest a little bit, your head a little bit, and your opposite leg. And then bring it all the way back. Everything comes down. Your forehead comes down. Pause for a second. You can turn your head to a different side and put your cheek on the mat if you want to. You can just let your forehead rest on the mat. Keep alternating. This is actually yoga therapy for, obviously, the back. But it's also for the neck, which is why they generally have you turn your head to opposite sides as you come back down. Do your second side one last time. And then sit back in child's pose where you put her outside for me, please, on the deck. Thank you. Even my son can't stand it anymore. I was just about to get up and do that. Man, she's a trip, that one. Okay, it is gentle. Well, we have a few more seconds. We're gentle. We're going to start on our backs, as we always do on a Tuesday. We start with the same series of stretches, and then we'll do the hip stuff. Okay, it's gentle time. Thank you. Lay on your back, legs straight, arms by your side, palms up. Walk your heels down a little bit to make your legs a little bit longer. Move your shoulder blades down your back. Lift your head and tuck your chin a little bit. Keep it tucked as you lay your head back down. To stretch the back of your neck. Don't overdo any of this. Don't tuck your chin so tight that you can't breathe. You don't want to stretch your neck that much. Your neck has a natural curve in it. It's supposed to. But it's nice to stretch it a little bit. Close your eyes. Just breathe. Feel the body. Feel the breath expanding the body. Imagine you're breathing into every cell. Energy. Breathing out, cleansing from every cell. The toxins. Gentle yoga is only gentle because most people can do most of it. We don't do standing poses generally, unless we're just doing an interesting warm-up. We don't do warriors. This is really good for those with back pain or recovering from surgeries or something. And it's also really good just to be nice to yourself sometimes. You don't have to always work hard. Okay, still lying on your back, raise your arms to the floor overhead. Let your hands, your arms rest on the floor. If you cannot do this because your shoulders are tight, bend your elbows. You just have your hands on the floor above your head, but your elbows bent out to the side. Never do anything that you're going to feel pain in your shoulders. And sometimes we've done something that may have hurt our shoulders, and we may think, oh, but if I do this, it'll make it heal quicker. Well, it won't. So modify. Now from where you are, this is our moving part of this. From where you are with your arms either slightly out to the side or straight overhead, inhale here. And as you exhale, bring your right knee up, bring your arms up and hug that right knee into your chest. Don't lift your shoulders. And inhale as you take your arms back to starting position, leg back down. Exhale as the left knee comes up. Arms come up, pull the knee in toward your chest, keep your shoulders relaxed. Finish the exhale, inhale. As you go back to starting position, leg down, arms overhead, keep alternating sides. Warming up the hips, warming up the back, warming up the abs, especially if you want to do the ab class. Warming up the shoulder joints. Moving gently. Remember, this one is this whole sequence is really good to do first in the morning. You don't have to get out of bed to do it. And it loosens you up. It loosens up the tight back and the hips, shoulders. Gets blood flowing. The sequence is the one I used to do when I had back pain every morning. 10 minutes every morning. Well, it's most of what I used to do. Now, hug your right knee into your chest. Next time you're holding it, hug it in. Left leg is straight down on the mat. If that's too much, you can bend your left knee a little bit. Really pull that right knee into your chest, but don't lift your shoulders up. Use your arm muscles, not your shoulders. Hold it. You know, we hold all of these for a minute. It takes 45 seconds for the muscle to kind of relax, for you to get the most out of the stretch. I am slumping back against the couch behind me like a real yoga teacher should. Couldn't do that when I was in the other room. Training was good. And cup your right hand around the top of the kneecap and rotate the leg without letting go, like an oval. You pull it in and let it go to the outside. Again, don't pull it as hard and take it across. Keep rotating in the same direction. Loosening up the hip joint, lubricating it, warming up around the hip. Keep our hips mobile. Protect our knees and our back. Now start rotating the other way around. But then you should go in the opposite direction. Don't let go of it when it goes out. Hold of it. This is just a little oval kind of rotation. Try to use your arm to make the movement rather than your leg. Try to keep your leg relaxed. Remember, if you have company and they would like to participate, that's wonderful. It may get them started when they go back. They can find a yoga teacher near them, but they need to fill out the form. So let me know. You probably already still have all the information, the blank form and how to connect to that website to fill it out, but I need a form emailed to me before they, and this is, you're on your honor system. Bring your knee back in. Take your knee across to the left. Shift your hips to the right a little bit. Shift it a little bit more so that you feel your low back, your bottom hip is right below your top hip, so your SI joint is straight up and down. Bring your right knee up a little bit towards your chest. Make sure your right foot is resting on your left leg. And rotate your chest, your ribs to the right. Your knee is going to the left. Don't force your shoulder down by pulling down with your right arm. If your arm doesn't touch the floor easily to the right, when you're twisting your right knee to the left, put a blanket under it or block, or just let it rest on your side. Don't try to force it down by pulling on your shoulder. Yeah, and this is a seated twist and things where we know. Shouldn't do a seated twist if you have a bulging or ruptured disc currently. But this kind of twist is generally safe because you're not compressing your spine, squeezing the discs. You're lying down, so the spine is separating enough. Now, bring your knee back up. Keep your right knee still bent. Shift your back to flat because remember you shifted a little bit to the right. Let your right knee go out to the right. Right foot touching your left inner thigh. Left leg is straight. You can put a block or something underneath that right leg. It doesn't have to go all the way to the floor. And you don't want to force it. You want to stay relaxed. So if it's hard to relax because it isn't touching the floor, put a block underneath it. Or a double folded blanket, or a blanket over a block. Support it some way. We're all different. You need to honor those differences. Now bring your right knee back up, foot still on the mat, straighten your right leg beside your left leg, straight on the mat. Hug your left knee in towards your chest. And if it's too hard on the right hip to keep the leg straight, you can bend the right knee a little bit as you hug the left knee in. Keeping your shoulders relaxed, use your arm muscles, really pull it in, stretch your back. Keep noticing your shoulders, because as you quit paying attention, your shoulders start to tighten up, lifting up towards your ears or your neck. Try to not let that happen. You wonder why our neck is so tired and sore at the end of the day. Now again, cup your hand over the top of the knee and rotate it carefully, like you did with the other side. Don't let go of your knee. Use your arm to move the leg. Make the full rotation there. Don't limit yourself, but again, don't go beyond. When you take it across the body, it shouldn't lift your left hip off the mat. That's just because you can't move it that far. So the left hip lifts. Keep your left hip down. Move it only as far as you can. Maximized. And you will generally go in the direction that is easier for you the first time. And you don't even realize. If you had to think about it, you wouldn't know which direction was easier. But your body does. Which is why when we go in the opposite direction in a few seconds, it will generally feel more challenging. So now go in the opposite direction. Sometimes you can't tell a difference, and that's good. Most of the time, though, there's a difference. Again, your back stays flat, both buttocks stay equally on the ground as you move that knee. Buttocks is, that plural should be batai, right? Batai. I think. I'm going to add that to Wikipedia. Plural of batai. I don't know if people can add stuff on their own anymore. It used to be you could. Bring your knee back in like you're hugging it. Shift your hips. Bend your right knee so you can shift your hips a little bit to the left. Straighten your right leg out again. Take that knee across the body over to the right side with your right hand. Make sure the foot is resting on your right leg. Feel in tight if you can. Again, shift your hips as much as you need to so your hips are stacked straight. Your SI joint isn't being torqued. Reach your left arm back out to the left by rotating your whole torso, not just by holding on your shoulder with your arm. Rest your arm on a blanket or a block, all that, you know. Do what works for you today. Never assume you can go to the same place as the last time you did this. back over onto your back. Shift so your back is flat. Your left knee is still bent. Foot on the mat. Let your left knee go out to the left without forcing it down. Just let gravity do the stretching. Support under it if need be, especially if you feel aggravation in the left hip. Put something underneath that left knee to keep it lifted a little bit. Now stay there, keep your left knee bent, bend your right knee. Bottoms of your feet together, heels in close, knees apart from each other. Recline, bound to angle, hold the stretch. Don't try to force your legs apart. Let gravity stretch them. Put support underneath your knees if it's too much, if you feel pain in your hips doing this. And yes, that pain can be arthritis. And yes, you need to move in spite of pain when we have arthritis, or we won't be able to move at all, but that doesn't mean you overstretch. Knees up. Okay, let's do the hip routine. I think we have time for everything. Come over onto your side. I'm lying on my right side, so just so we don't get confused, lay on your right side so you can see the camera. So you might put your head on the other end of the mat. You can lay all the way down on the inside of your arm. You can put a blanket or a little pillow under your head, or you can prop your head in your hands. Bend your knees. Bring your knees up so your thighs are making a 90-degree angle with your torso. 90 degrees. The knees are not lower than that. You really don't want them higher than that. Just 90 degrees. Have your heels tucked back. Don't have your heels out. Have your heels tucked back towards your buttocks. Legs are stacked. Don't roll back when you do this. This is for strength. This is not for flexibility, but it's also range of motion. If you roll back, you're letting your torso do the movement rather than the hip. Just lift your knees. Keep your feet together, separate your knees, and lower back down. And lift. Right knee stays down, left leg is lifting. 3, rotating the hip. 4, again, don't roll back. 5, feet together, just kind of like a clamshell, opening and closing. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep your knees together, separate your feet. 1, rotating the hip in the other direction. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now lift the left leg just maybe an inch off the bottom leg. Bring the knee into your chest, keeping it bent, and then straighten it out long-wise on the mat. Don't touch the mat. 2, knee in and out. Moving the hip in another direction. 3, knee to chest, legs straight out along the mat. 4, straight down, however you want to think about it. 5, keep it above the mat, parallel more or less. 6, 7, 8, 9, And now when your leg goes out straight, keep it straight. Move the bottom knee, the right knee down a little bit so you better balance. Bring the left leg a little bit forward. Notice what a little bit is. This is straight, this is a little bit forward. It's still over the mat. Little tiny circles moving the whole leg. So you're moving from the hips, little circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 other way. 10, 9, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull the heel in. Push your knee away. Stretch your quadricep and the hip flexors. Hold it. And release. Straighten your right leg, your bottom leg out. Put your left foot behind the bottom leg. The bottom leg's a little bit forward. Left knee bent, left foot down, behind the bottom leg, behind the right leg. Point your right toes down so your heel is higher than your toes. Your right leg is straight, heel higher than the toes. We're going to do 10 lifts with the heel leading the way, working the inner thigh and the inner part of the hip. 1, touch down. It's not a big lift. 2, touch. 3, touch. 4, touch. Keep the toes pointing down so you isolate the inner thigh. 7, 8, 9, 10. Now point your toes. Keep your right leg lifted off the mat just a little bit. Bring the knee up to the chest. 1, and straighten it back to starting. 2, 3, working again the inner thigh, different muscles. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change sides. Sit up. Put your head on the other end of the mat. Lower back down. These legs stacked. Head on a pillow or your hand or whatever works for you. Bring your knees up to your thighs. You're making a 90-degree angle with your torso. Heels tucked back. Keep your feet together. Separate your knees. 1, back together. 2, down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Knees together, feet apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lift the right leg maybe an inch off the bottom leg. Bring the knee up to the chest and straighten it out above the mat. 1, in and out. 3. Don't use your hand, just use your muscles. Pull it up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep the legs straight. Bring the leg a little forward. You can move the left leg down a little bit, still keeping the knee bent for balance. Little circles, whole leg moving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull your top heel in, stretch. Straighten the bottom leg out a little bit forward. Top leg is behind, foot down, knee bent, knee up in the air like this. Point your bottom toes down. If you can see my toes, you'll see that this hip doesn't rotate as much, my left hip, as the right hip did. My toes don't turn as much down. My heel isn't that much higher than my toes because my left hip is the one that is having issues these days. But it's getting better, and I'm getting a little bit more rotation again. Toes down, let your hip bleed. 1, touch down. 2, touch. 3, 4, 5, little lift. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Point your toes. Keep the leg lifted a little bit, parallel to the mat. Maybe knee to chest. 1, and back to starting. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Roll over onto your back. The one that I promised those in Hatha that we would do. Knees bent, cross your right ankle on your left thigh. Lift your left leg up and hold it. You can hold behind on the hamstring. You can hold it over the shin. You can use a strap over the shin if you can't reach your arms that far. Try not to let your left knee tilt to the right. If you feel it too much in the right knee, flex your right foot to tighten those muscles along that knee to support that knee. If it still hurts your right knee to cross it, cross knee to knee rather than ankle on thigh. And wrap your arms around the outside of your legs and hold it. And if that's still, you still feel aggravation in the knee, it's not a good thing to do. So lower your foot back down and see if you can do it with your left foot on the mat and your leg crossed, like a guy sitting in a chair. See if you can do that without pain in your knee. In this case, almost 80% of the time, if you have pain in your knee doing this, it's because your hip is tight. So it's forcing the knee to try to move in a direction it doesn't move, which is why you have pain in your knee. So you really need to work on the hip so you don't actually damage the knee. Excuse me. Huh. And uncross, release, knees bent, cross your left ankle on your right thigh. Lift your right leg up if you can, hold it, or do any of those modifications. As I mentioned, if you feel it too much in your knee, first thing is to try flexing your foot and tightening your muscles and keep it flexed. Next is to slide it so it's knee to knee crossed. And then finally lower your foot back to the mat and see if you can do that. Or you can do that with your foot flexed. Almost done. Almost going to be able to go and eat. We can't even talk about all the new restaurants that we've tried because we can't try new restaurants. And we can't talk about it anyway. It's not the same without our interaction, but oh well. Uncross. Release. Hug both knees into your chest. Rock gently side to side. Stretch and massage your back. And if you have time, why don't you just lie there with your legs straight or knees bent, feet on the mat, let your knees fall together. Just take some time to allow the body to incorporate the changes that have occurred in your practice because the class is over. I will see you all on Saturday. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Satnam.